talked about menstrual cycle. So on today's video, we are going to talk about the myths and misconceptions concerning the woman hygiene. So throughout the centuries, many health myths have risen. Some have been tried, some have been tested, and some have been taken as fantasy. But others are nothing but fantasy that we have in our heads. In this video, we shall discuss a few to be in the know. So on to our first myth, we have the tampon myth. So most persistent misconceptions refer to the use of tampons to absorb the period blood, because a person has to insert the tampon in the vagina. Some people worry that this may, it may cause damage. Worry is that inserting a tampon can break the hymen, which is usually a mark of virginity. In reality, the hymen is usually a stretchy membrane that lines the opening of the vaginal opening. If this were the case, the hymen would block the menstrual blood and other types of discharge from leaving the body. Thus would be dangerous, requiring surgical intervention to correct. Inserting a tampon should not be uncomfortable. If done correctly, you shouldn't feel some sort of uncomfortableness or some sort of... If uncomfortable, try using a lubricant to help slide the tampon in. A second myth about the tampon is that for the first time users have encountered is that tampons can get lost into the vagina, which is not true. Because our vaginas are usually 3.77 inches, that's about 9.6 centimeters deep, and an average tampon will usually come with strings that aid in the removal. Should you ever encounter a piece of information that you are unsure about or which you find alarming, speak to a nurse or a doctor to check the facts for you. The second myth is the deodorant. The use of deodorant can cause breast cancer. Some individuals have suggested that there may be a link between the underarm deodorant and the development of breast cancer based on the notion that chemicals from deodorant usually affects the breast cells. This is not true. Nearly all studies that have tested the link have found little evidence to prove this or to even reveal that breast cancer survivors who have used deodorant regularly were diagnosed younger than the women who did it regularly. Regular use of the deodorant. But the retrospective study results cannot conclusively prove a link. The National Cancer Institute say that additional research will be required to prove that there is actually a relationship between the use of underarm deodorant with breast cancer. So for now, it's not true. The third myth is drink 8 glasses of water per day. Literally everyone knows about this. The question rather should be, how much water is enough? Link from the National Academics of Sciences and Engineering and Medicine says that women require about 2.7 liters in a day, while men require 3.7 liters of total water per day. Many people believe, however, that the recommended daily amount of water should be about 8 glasses, which equals to about 2.5 liters, not accounting the amount of water that we get from other drinks and other foods. That 8 glasses of water per day was claimed to be the 8 times 8, was actually misinterpreted by a single paragraph in a government report back then in 1945. Actually, the author of the 2002 paper believes that people only paid attention to the first sentence, and over time, people disregarded the water containing food statement, which led to the very erroneous impression that 8 glasses of water is supposed to be consumed per day. The fourth myth is that you can get a sexually transmitted disease from toilet seats. You may not be thrilled to use a public toilet, but for the most part, you did not fear catching any disease. For one to understand why, it helps you to remember that disease-causing microbes are everywhere, and you can find them on your keyboard, on money, or even on your smartphone. Can you really catch an STI or an STD from a toilet seat? That's the question you should ask yourself. Most certainly not. STIs or STDs are transmitted through sexual contact. This means it has to be skin-to-skin contact or exchange of the body fluids. Keep in mind that most organisms that that cause the STDs and the STIs cannot survive outside the body for too long. Even on a small chance, a woman would have to make a genital contact with the toilet seat to get infected. All the same, there are usually fewer common microbe diseases that spread from the toilet seats. For example, the UTIs. The good news is that the risk is nearly eliminated just by washing your hands. Those diseases including UTI infection as well as microbes that are responsible for the flu and the colds. You can get rid of them. Remember, these disease-causing microbes need a way into your body, and merely resting on your skin won't cut it, as they mostly need to make contact with mucous membrane, your eyes, your nose, your mouth, or to do any damage. So if you avoid touching your face before washing your hands. The fifth myth is that taking birth control pills can destroy a woman's fertility. This is also a myth. A pill is usually a safe and at 100% reversible method of contraception. There is no scientific evidence that the pill can usually cause infertility in women. Once a woman stops taking the pill, she can ovulate immediately and become pregnant shortly. After stopping the pill, however, it can take some women a few months to begin the regular ovulating after stopping the hormonal control. The pill doesn't cause a woman to become infertile by permanently suppressing ovulation. The women who are usually likely to experience delay in fertility and ovulation are women who have had irregular periods before they have started taking the pill. Unfortunately, there's usually a lot of confusion around the pill and infertility, which can be attributed to the natural causes. Many women start using the pill in their mid-teens and stop taking the pill in their late 30s, which is the age where infertility or fertility begins to decrease naturally. Plus, a woman is trying to prevent pregnancy in your mid-teens. With the pill, she's usually not concerned or not even aware of infertility issues she may have until she goes off the pill. But facts still remain that a pill itself does not cause problems with fertility or infertility issues. The best thing a woman can do when it comes to healthcare is just to follow your intuition. If something doesn't feel right or about your health or your relationship with your healthcare provider, just go with your gut. Go with your heart. Seek a second opinion or get some advice. I hope you found this video very informative and very educative. I'll really appreciate if you comment, you like, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.